Teacher, what's the Renaissance? I know. The Renaissance was a historical period where there was educational rebirth. New ideas were formed and more knowledge was created. The Renaissance lasted from the 1350s to the 1600s.
Very good.
At the top was the king. He was the most powerful. Then came the higher clergy. These were the people that worked in the church. They had power and lots of wealth because they told people to donate to the church to get a better chance to go into heaven. Nobles were the people who paid the higher clergy. They also owned land that the serfs and peasants worked. Lesser nobles, knights, and lower clergy were very similar to the higher clergy and nobles. Lesser nobles just had less money but still donated to the higher clergy in the church and hired serfs and peasants to work their farmland. The lower clergy didn't have as much power as the higher clergy, but they still worked in the church. The serfs and peasants were the people that worked the nobles' lands and the lesser nobles' lands. In return for working for the nobles, they were paid with protection The Silk Road went from Italy to China and Japan. Things like traded goods, ideas and knowledge, and disease, like the Black Death, went along these roads. Traded goods enabled people to have things that they needed, also to make money as they traded. Ideas and knowledge let people understand things and learn things that maybe they hadn't known before. Disease, like the Black Death, caused new things around Italy, well, especially Italy, because of urbanization. Because so many people died, people moved into the towns and cities for job opportunities.
So, the Black Plague was caused by bacteria that lived on fleas that lived on rats. The fleas jumped onto people, infecting them with the Black Death. It was also referred to as the bubonic plague. So, they didn't have very long to live after they were infected, so they usually ended up dying. Very few lived, like very few. And this is usually what happened.
Renaissance ideas were able to spread because artists painted less religious paintings, writers wrote in vernacular languages, and scholars and philosophers traveled from universities and the Islamic Empire. Mathematicians and scientists questioned old beliefs and created new theories. In the Islamic Empire, there were many scholars and libraries. The scholars had been collecting information from the ancient Greeks and Romans since the 7th century. Later Europeans came into contact with the Islamic Empire. This helped spread Renaissance ideas. Humanism.
Humanism was the focus on people's lives, their potential worths, their values, their beliefs, their needs, and their wants, and how they could make life better.
How did it affect people in the Renaissance?
With humanism, people started to see that they could live for themselves, be their own person. They didn't have to stay in the same class that their ancestors did. They were able to find their own jobs and do what they wanted with their life. People in the Renaissance started to see that preparing for the afterlife wasn't as important as focusing on the life that they were living right then and there.
Consumerism is the focus on buying things.
What would you like to buy today? I think I'll buy the scarf. Okay.
Consumerism sparked the idea to fund large expeditions to find a trade route to Asia.